I love structure. Personally, if I take a day and stare into space, I can be very creative with what I think about and be very busy with my mind. However, I can get close to nothing done. And I know that this is so true about me as an adult that I need structure. So, too, with our kids, we need to give them structure. The ideas I'm going to share with you are ideas about how to motivate our children to behave. And I know this could be difficult, especially when we're quarantined, especially if you're home. These ideas are going to enable your children to behave, to listen to you as a parent with things that you already have at home, so you don't have to go and run out to the store and get so creative. If you want to, you can. You don't have to. These ideas I'm going to share with you are ideas that I have tried as a parent myself that are proven to be very effective. And also as an educator, I teach both special needs and general ed students. So it really depends on the child, and you know your child best. Um, you're the parent, and you can see what works for your child, what doesn't work for your child. So these are ideas that have worked. It may not work for your child, but you can try them because they're very, very effective. These are ideas I have learned some on my own and tried on my own, and also learned from other resources. So I really can't say which one is which, but I'm happy to share them with you. Now, I'm going to give you a few tips on how to motivate your child to behave, and then I'm going to give you 5 practical ways to get your children to listen to you. Okay, behavior strategies. So, a few tips are: make sure that your kids are on a schedule. Kids crave structure. You want to mean what you say, and you want to make sure to keep your word. Don't just say things like, oh, I'll give it to you later or after lunch, and then you see that they forget, and then they really did forget, and you're like, okay, I'm not going to give it to them. It's extra chocolate anyway. It's not good for them. No, don't do that. Please try to keep your word because you are building trust in your child. The child is going to remember eventually, and if they don't remember, they're going to get the hang of it that you don't keep your word, and you really want to have a trusting relationship with your child. Follow through with what you say and know that children want to trust you. Don't be too lenient. Let them earn their rewards. So sometimes as parents, especially now during the corona time, coronavirus epidemic, we feel bad for our children. We may feel sorry for them. Oh, they don't have so much. This is the new normal. We all need to get used to it until it's over. So children crave responsibility, structure, and they need to earn it. If you get on a diet and decide to lose weight, and you're looking into programs, one program is going to tell you, you're going to lose weight by just like sitting and breathing, and you can eat what you want, and you're going to magically lose a lot of weight. You're going to question that program versus you're going to choose another program where you actually have to exercise and eat right, and sleep well in order to lose weight. Now that looks like you're actually working for your goal. Children want to work for their goals. Don't be too lenient on them. You can be lenient, but don't make it something like, okay, here's an extra treat, here's this. Let them work for it because they really actually want to work for it, even though they may not tell you that. Okay. Smaller kids need prizes quicker. Don't wait till the end of the day or the week to give them a prize. They need prizes like, okay, you do this, you get that. And make your words 10 words or less. Don't keep on saying, oh, you have to eat this. It's so healthy for you. It's so good. Mommy cooked for you. And I woke up early for you. And I went to the store for you. And it was so hard. And I had to wait in line. The kids already lost you. So you eat your broccoli and chicken, you get chocolate. That's it. That little kids, 10 words or less, because we don't want to lose them. We want to get our point straight across. So with older children, you want to give them an opportunity to make choices. So you want to give them maybe a list of chores to do, and you could tell them knock off 6 out of 8 or 4 out of 6 or whatever number you decide to give them. You want to give them that opportunity to make their own choices and be more responsible, because they are growing and they feed on that, and it is good for them to make their own choices. So if you run out of tangible prizes such as toys, treats, or other prizes, something you can actually touch, you can make certificates. So I have index cards here. If you don't have index cards, any piece of paper is fine. So over there you can write different certificates such as 10 minutes extra computer time, or you could knock off 2 or 3 chores, or you could say pick your own responsibilities, whatever that it is. Whatever works for your child. You know your child best. And if you don't know your child, if you don't know what works for them, ask them. They'll tell you. Okay, different prizes work for different children. You know your child. If you're having a hard time knowing what motivates their behavior, ask them what they would like. And if they don't tell you what they would like because they just don't want to, look around their room. Of course, if they're older, with their permission, you will want to respect their space. See what they like. Maybe you want to ask your spouse, maybe you want to ask their friends. So, with older kids, these are ideas that are really for ages maybe 12 and below, you know. So you really want to know your child. Older kids, want more of a relationship and more space as well. Make sure to compliment your child out loud, especially with younger children. Be dramatic. Wow, you shared with your sister, and I know it was so hard for you. You really love your toy. This is your prize, and you gave your sister extra time. So you made her so happy, it means the world to her. Really, this is like a dramatic compliment, but little kids love that. Now, what I noticed is that with boys, they don't like when you compliment them out loud, and probably with some girls as well, because they want to seem macho. They have an ego. Like, if you compliment me out loud, I'm weak in front of you. You need me. You notice something about me. It's like a psychological thing. So what you want to do is you want to compliment them. Maybe you want to compliment them separately, or you want to compliment them knowing that they're hearing you in front of your spouse. So it's a little bit tricky. Some kids, when you compliment them more, they actually start acting out. So you know your child. Okay, so here we go. 5 effective techniques in order to motivate your child to behave. So, number 1 is called Caught Being Good. So, what you do is you have a jar. It says Caught Being Good. I just printed this out. Probably I'll just highlight it in gold. We'll see. I just printed it out. Any jar, anything works really. So, you have Caught Being Good. Maybe what I would do is I would cut a portion of this in order to put the piece of papers of Caught Being Good. So, Caught Being Good is, you can have an index card, you can have different pieces of construction paper in order to catch your child being good. So, what is your child doing? Your child is doing things that are hard for them. So, let's say that you have 3 kids, let's say. So, you want to pick 3 different color construction paper: yellow, green, and orange, right? 3 distinct colors. And you tell your child, yellow, you're going to work on honesty. The green, you're going to work on, being responsible, meaning like making the right choices, whatever that it is. So you assign different things. You know what's hard for your child. So you say, every single time I see you do this, I'm going to put in your color. And at the end of the day, you pick out 3, and the person who has 3 of the most, meaning like if there's 3 oranges or 3 greens or 3 yellows, then they get a special prize or treat, and it's your decision what you want to give them. But this is an excellent way to do that. If you don't want to do that, you're going to just write on an index card what the kid did. So let's say you don't want to assign a character trait for each kid, because I understand it could be too much for you to remember, but this really works wonders. You want to just write down things you catch them being good. Maybe they cleaned up the table without you asking them. Maybe they swept. Maybe they took care of their sibling. Maybe they made peace with their sibling instead of arguing. Whatever that it is, it's like, wow, I know this is hard for you. And you just made peace. And you're like, I'm going to write it down. And you write it down in the index card. Really write it down. Because at the end of the day, maybe during dinner time, you want to take out the 3 and compliment. And you want to say it out loud. You want them to have recognition for it. So say it out loud, they'll blush, they'll be happy, they will recognize every effort is important. So we also don't want to mm, we also want to work on each child's struggles. So working for improvement in whatever they are working on. So we don't want to say, okay, you have to be just like who's the best peacemaker here if you have 3 kids or more. No, we're not competing. We are becoming better today than we were yesterday. So if you know your children all struggle with being honest, will all struggle with helping out at home. So wow, you were so much better at it today. I had to call your name a lot less than you were yesterday. So this is really, really great. Um, you don't have to make a hole. You don't have to cut anything out. If you want, you just always keep it open. But this is really wonderful. Okay, number 2, work for your treat. So I did this before Passover. We had to prepare the house for Passover. Obviously, many people, or everyone, I'm assuming, does not have cleaning help anymore. So there's more work around the house. So what I did was I had a big bin of treats, and I had all these delicious treats. I went to the store and bought treats for my children I know they love, and I know they get it rarely, or um, you know, they don't get it every day. So they could get it all day long, whenever they'd like, as long as they do something for it. Now, I had, of course, lunchtime and dinner time set, so I said, an hour or two before, don't eat anything that's very sweet or whatever that it is. So basically, children work for their treat. You teach your kids life skills, how to clean the home. You always want to model the kids how to do it beforehand. And you have the basket of their favorite treats. So let's say, so I told my kids, you do 20 minutes of work, you get a treat. So I had like different treats there, vitamin waters and cool chips and candy. Really, it was like, they're like, I can't believe this is happening. So I said, as long as you do this much work, you get a treat, and you can take a break whenever you'd like. Now, this is great for before you want to clean the house, or before a holiday, a day when you have to get a lot of things done. And my kids were really excited about it. And they asked me for more chores. So I was running out of chores, really. You want to make a list of things that really you need to get done. Now, don't expect perfection personified from them, because they're only kids, but they're going to get better at it. And they need to learn the life skills anyway, and how to clean and how to take care of a home. So they do 20 minutes of work, they come down, they get their treat. Now, I gave them little bags. So I said, just collect your treats. You don't want to eat everything at once, but you can have them whenever you'd like. Okay. Number 3 is build your character. So I have this little picture frame of a character trait, compliment giver. So you're giving compliments all day long, you're becoming better. Now, of course, we don't want to compete with our siblings. So how well do you give compliments? So you constantly want to, what did I notice at the end of the day? Did you give compliments well, better than you usually do? We don't want to compete again. So this is great. You can take an old picture frame. You can actually post it on the wall. I like to do it like this. Honestly, the first time I did it, I just took any piece of paper and just wrote it by hand. But because I was preparing for this video, I was able to type them up. So I have 7 character traits in order to work on all day long. They're working on one. So you want to choose one that all your kids really struggle on. So this way you have enhancement. So assign one daily. Choose one that your children struggle in. So I have 7 of them. If you want, you can change them according to what your family has a difficult time on, your kids. So mine is peacemaker, compliment giver, staying calm, responsible one, right choice maker, super helper, and patient master. So at the end of the day, maybe you want to give them some sort of treat, staying up a little bit later, whatever that works for your children. Okay. So number 4 is dinner and prizes. So Seder night, we had a bunch of prizes prepared for our children that they earned. They were things that were not electronic. We took a Shabbat, so we don't use electronics. So they were like little mazes, little treats, things that they can have. Now, if you don't have that opportunity to buy, you can always have these little certificates, right on an index card, um, you know, staying up later, or extra 10 minutes computer time, whatever that works for your kids. Now, the next one, number 5, is Children's Day. Now, this I have not tried with my kids yet, but we're working on it this week. So, Children's Day. Children's Day is the day where the kids do whatever they want. So, I told my kids that's not happening. We're not going to do whatever we want, but we have a few hours that you can do what you like, and you can ask me for it. You can tell me what your schedule is like. Now, if your child is a big risk taker and does crazy things for that time, you know your child, you want to tell them, look, these are your options. So choose from your list, give them a list of things that they can do, and say, which ones would you like to do? And really give them that space and that time. Please leave them alone because they really worked hard for it. So you want to create some kind of a reward system where they earn Children's Day or Children's Hour, or like 3 or 4 or 5 hours, or maybe each child can get different amount of hours depending on their behavior for that week. So this is really for older kids where they can do whatever they want, where you don't have to monitor them as much. And it really, really is very exciting. My kids are thrilled about it. They worked for it for this week, so we'll see how that goes. But I think knowing them, I think this is something they asked me to do, and you want to ask your kids, what kind of reward system would you like to get? So maybe they'll tell you, if we do this all week, we accrue this much money on Amazon. I don't know, that's another reward system. But maybe you want to ask them what works for them, and it'll hopefully be a success. So, we want to be lenient with our kids, but to the point that there is structure. I hope these ideas were helpful. Let me know if they are. Let me know if you want more of these types of ideas. I'm trying them all myself, and they're really quite effective. I hope this video was helpful, and I hope we can grow with our children and be patient with all these character traits. Remember, we're modeling these behaviors. So we're being and becoming. Being and becoming Leah Abramov. Awakening awareness of your greatness and potential.